Hello, I'm Pete Torriello.
And I'm Maureen Torriello.
And we are the Sonic Boomers. How's that? How's that for an intro, huh? How is that?
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I got another one here, too.
Okay.
That's the original one that we were going to use.
The second one's better.
Oh, yeah, the second one is, man, that's got the power. Hey, this week on the Sonic Boomers, we're getting sonic about the things that are on our mind, and sometimes we pull them, right off the top of our heads.
And, sometimes they're coming out of somewhere else.
And very often straight from the heart. And this week on Sonic Boomers, first of all, we want to get sonic about a couple of things. Then we're going to have our main topic, which is, how do you feel about the phrase, okay, boomer, if you're a boomer yourself? And then later in the show, we're going to have our boomer trivia quiz.
So lots to look forward to.
Lots to look forward to today. Now, here's what I'm excited about.
Okay.
I wanted to sound off about this. And
get it?
I'm getting sonic. I just saw this on television today. They make a peanut butter that is in a bottle and you squeeze it. And I like to have peanut butter on a celery stick. So you take your peanut butter and you squeeze it onto the celery stick. You don't have to have a knife and put it on. Or if you like peanut butter on a banana.
Or apple slice.
Or apple slices. You just squeeze it onto the apple. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. The only problem with it is it kind of looks like poop coming out of a dog's backside.
Yeah, the visual is not too good.
It's you kind of got to get it past your eyes, but I'm sure the flavor, the taste experience will exceed any negative visuals involved.
Well, I'm glad you're so sure.
Yeah. In fact, when I do my shopping this week, Skippy, you sold me.
Okay, good for you.
What are you getting sonic about?
Well, this week I heard, apparently the vaccinations for COVID have kind of plateaued out. I think everybody that was gung-ho about getting it have gotten at least the first shot. And now they're kind of concerned because it's not escalating to the amount that they would be comfortable with, rescinding a lot of the restrictions and stuff. So they're offering, a lot of states and different municipalities are offering incentives now for you to get vaccinated.
What kind of incentives?
Anything from Ohio has a chance at $1 million lottery drawing for the teenagers to get vaccinated, college scholarships.
Get out of here.
New cars.
For getting vaccinated?
Yes. Everybody gets a trophy.
Now, wait a minute. Now, I'm calling BS on this. And I agree. People need to get vaccinated, okay? I'm not going to debate that with you or anybody. You need to get vaccinated, okay? We need to get this nonsense over with. And you and I, we got vaccinated.
And we got nada.
We got zip butt kiss.
So for us, for doing the right thing and getting vaccinated early,
nothing.
We got
nothing.
And for all these ne'er-do-wells that are waiting,
ne'er-do-wells,
they're getting incentives.
Yeah.
That doesn't sit too well with me.
That's not right. That's not right.
But
I guess they got to do what they got to do to get people in there.
Right. But on the plus side, I did find that if you are vaccinated already and you can show your card, there's a lot of businesses that are offering little things like free donuts. Some brew pubs are saying a free beer with a show of your card.
That's why they're calling it shot in a beer. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I thought you just made that up.
No.
It's clever.
Yeah, I am clever, but not that clever. Shot in a beer.
Shot in a beer, okay. Yeah. So, there are things that we could cash in on, possibly. Yeah. But
and we got the J&J. We got the dangerous one where the people got the blood. Isn't the danger worth anything to give us a little something?
But anyway, I just heard that and I thought, oh man, we're getting punished for doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get punished. We just didn't get rewarded for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But see, that's a millennial thing.
Here we go.
Millennials want to get rewarded just for showing up, and that's sorry, folks. It's not the way it works.
So anyway, that was on my mind.
That's a good segue into the OK Boomer thing.
Okay.
Now I got to tell you, I did not know about OK Boomer until maybe 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine said to me, "OK Boomer," because he's 39, so I guess that makes him a millennial. Yeah, he's a. You know what? Let's look at the chart.
Actually, if he's 30, yeah, he'd be millennial. He's
Okay.
right on the border.
For those of you who don't even know, like the different
We didn't know,
either. We actually looked it up here. We're going to look at a few different generations here. We had what was called the Greatest Generation, which was those born between 1901 and 1927. So probably like our grandparents for a lot of us.
Or parents.
And they were involved in World War I and World War II.
So our parents, really.
They also saw the Roaring Twenties, Al Capone, speakeasies, prohibition, and they lived through the Great Depression. That was all the Greatest Generation. Mm-hmm. And having gone through all of that, yeah, maybe they were the Greatest Generation. Then there was what they called the Silent Generation.
Okay.
And I don't know why they were silent, but they are the ones who fought in the Korean War and the Vietnam War.
And they were born between 1928 and 1945.
1945. So that's the silent generation. Then there's our generation, which is the baby boomers, born 1946 to 1964.
Now, I'm kind of curious. The silent generation of people born around 1945 or 1928 to 45, I would think that they would still be a little old to have been in the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what they say. That's what came up in the research.
Yeah.
So the although there probably more baby boomers were involved in Vietnam.
Right. So the baby boomers are 1946 to 64.
1964.
So the Vietnam War.
We had the balls to protest the Vietnam War.
Burned the draft cards.
We had the counterculture movement of the 1960s.
And the sexual
revolution.
Feminism.
And then there's Generation X.
Now, these are the ones that I didn't have a clear understanding.
I think a lot of people
what
don't.
They were. So Generation X is 1965 to 1980.
Right. Then you have your millennials, also known as Generation Y.
Okay, so that's two of the same, because I thought they were separate. Okay.
1982 to 1996. So that's all three of our kids, right?
Nope.
No?
Sean is an X. Kim and Mark are Y, millennials.
Generation Y, millennials, as in, why are we putting up with these people and their constant whining? Generation Z, 1997 to 2012, and Generation Alpha, which is 2012 up to the present day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I hadn't heard of Alpha, so that's interesting.
Yeah. And my friend Chris was one of the respondents that we had to the question about OK Boomer. And he was the one, to go back to what I was saying before, who told me about OK Boomer, that it was a pejorative term, which millennials especially, and younger, call us because they think we ruined everything.
Mm-hmm. But I had actually heard about it, but never heard anybody say it to me or anything. Back when we were first starting this podcast and we were trying to come up with an idea for a title, and we were talking about some of the boomer type, terminology for our title at that time.
Right.
And our son said, "No, you don't want to do that because
there's a negative connotation
to it." So that I did kind of know that, and that's why we had gone with mixing up with Pete and Maureen. But as time went on, we realized that there was some value in changing the name
to the Sonic Boomers. There is a writer for Philly Magazine.
Okay. As in Philadelphia.
As in Philadelphia. and his name is Gene Marks. Gene, I got a problem with you. I really have a problem with you. He did an article called Baby Boomers, 5 Reasons Why They Are Our Worst Generation.
Okay.
It says, boomers have created liabilities that will take generations to pay off. The national debt is now around $17 trillion, larger for the first time in recent history than the size of the entire economy, and it is projected to continue to significantly grow over the next few decades unless something dramatic is done to reduce it. Boomers don't like to talk about fiscal responsibility or living within their means. They like their credit cards and government-secured mortgages and overvalued properties. They enjoy their malls, and they would find them all. Find a mall that's still open, Gene. You might find 1 or 2. They enjoy their malls and their cars and their houses as long as someone else is willing to lend them the money to buy the stuff that they don't seem to care much about how it's going to get paid off.
That's a lot of sweeping generalizations that I don't buy.
Next comment. These safety nets, he says, the boomers love their safety nets. Safety nets were created over the past few decades by boomers for boomers with little regard to the future. One of the major reasons why our national debt is so high is because 40% of the government spending goes to some type of insurance, social insurance, retirement, health benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, etc. These systems are bankrupt, but they're needed to pay for the boomers' health care and pension plans.
But we've paid into
We paid into it, Gene.
So, you know.
And you know what, Gene? When you get to be our age, who the hell is going to pay for you? Mm-hmm. Who is going to pay for you? Okay? He says they are the source of one of the biggest problems with Obamacare. Whether you support the Affordable Care Act or not, and I think there are a lot of great things about it, he writes, one undeniable fact is that the cost of this new system is being put squarely on the shoulders of the young. People in their 20s need less health care than the boomers in their 60s and 70s. Duh. Really? This is not only because younger people today have healthier lifestyles, but because many boomers spent most of their young lives smoking, drinking sugary sodas, and engaging in risky, unprotected sex.
Gee, I wish.
Yeah. I think I have smoked maybe a pack of cigarettes in my lifetime. Okay? And this is going to sound stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't inhale because I use my voice for a living and I'm a singer, and I knew that wasn't good. I never inhaled one.
Okay.
Sugary drinks I swore off years ago. Unfortunately, after I became a type 2 diabetic. You say, Boomer? You say, Boomer, if you were eating right, you wouldn't be a diabetic. By the way, Gene, being a diabetic, there is almost no link between what you ate growing up and being a diabetic. Nobody turns into a diabetic because they ate chocolate cake. I'm sorry, Gene. Let's see, what else does he say? Oh, here's a good one. Baby boomers are, thank God, the last reminders of our racist, homophobic, sexist past. When you look at those white-only diners and drinking fountains in those photos from the 1960s, you just can't believe it. Or how women were treated, and gays. But many of our beloved boomers were teenagers back then, living with parents who watched Ozzie and Harriet, and were raised to believe that people who weren't white weren't to be trusted. Women were meant to stay at home. Gays were sinners. Over time, these attitudes have changed, mainly because people in their 20s and 30s are smarter, better educated, and open-minded. Unfortunately, and although we now have a black president, this was written during the Obama administration, obviously, the last remnants of boomer generation who still wield power in their churches and companies are doing their best to keep women out of the corporate suite, protest gay marriage, and fight immigration reform.
I would just rip that guy's story right up.
That is a very broad stroke. That is a big friggin' brush that you're painting.
Yeah. I think anytime
our generation with.
Anytime somebody is so broad it negates any of the validity of what they have to say, because nothing is absolute. There I'm going making an absolute statement, but you know what I mean? It's kind of anytime that you say everybody does it, nobody, you've already, cheapened your product.
Yeah. He says, we're scrambling to fix the environment because of their excesses for years, and despite warnings, the boomers refused to recycle and ran companies that spewed ozone-destroying chemicals into the air. There are countless plots of land that are unusable because of chemicals and pesticides dumped by this generation. I'm no environmentalist, but I have to shake my head at the destruction laid upon the planet over the last 40 years by these people.
But these people, I can remember in high school, ecology was a really big thing. It was a cool thing. We recycled. We had glassmobiles.
Earth Day. We boomers were in high school when they created Earth Day, Gene. What are you talking about?
We cleaned up parks. We had anti-litter days. I mean, come on.
And finally, Gene says, the good news is that the baby boomer generation is quickly getting older. 10,000.
We're going to die soon.
10,000 boomers are retiring each day. We can't ship them off to an island, unfortunately, but I'm optimistic.
We should just ship him off.
I'm optimistic the next generation of leaders will not make the same mistakes.
They'll make different ones.
Governments will take care of people who are truly needy, not just because they turn 65 and have a car payment. Gene, I hope that you're a little tongue-in-cheek on this, but
I don't think so.
this is what I think of your article.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what I think of your article, Gene. You might want to stick it somewhere where the sun don't shine. Or as they say, don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, well, now you're polluting our room now.
Yes.
You boomer, you.
Yeah, I'm polluting our room. Well, we put the question to our audience. How do you feel about the term "okay boomer"? And I've got to tell you, you disappointed me. You disappoint. For those of you who wonder where I just went, I'm leaning into the television camera and away from the microphone. You disappointed me because the response was underwhelming. Yeah. We had a bigger response to, do you like anchovies on your pizza? than we did to this question about how do you feel about okay boomer?
Yeah. The majority of people that I heard from, because some people responded to me, some to Pete, some to our website, our Facebook page rather.
Yeah.
And most of them were kind of like, who cares? They let them
Apparently,
close whatever they want.
It irritates me a hell of a lot more than it irritates them.
I think it does.
We had one lengthy response, which I really liked, from our friend Kevin.
Okay.
And Kevin wrote, and by the way, if you want to write to us, you can write to us at sonicboomers@protonmail.com. Sonic Boomers written as one word. If you use two words, it will not go through. Sonic Boomers as one word at protonmail.com. And Kevin was, by the way, the first one to write to us on the new Proton Mail mailbox.
Okay.
So he gets two, check marks. And Kevin says, as a gay man of a certain age, I sadly encountered this phrase on social media whilst replying to a post of some sort. A very young gay man nastily replied to me, okay, boomer. I can only speak of my experience in the gay community, and it's not a good one. It is not used as a term of endearment at all. It is used as a nasty reply to older gay men when they, in some young people's eyes, say something wrong. As was said in Moonstruck so aptly by the grandfather, the old are not wanted. This phrase, okay, boomer, says it all for me. It actually makes me angry to even see it on paper, to be honest. Just another way for young society to say, fuck you to the older generation. Forgive me for being so negative. This is just my experience, as you asked. I so enjoy your podcast. Keep up the good work. Hugs, Kevin.
Oh, wow.
So Kevin, thank you. Thank
It's the
you.
best.
And get well, man. Kevin just went through a knee replacement, and he's going into the rehab phase of it now. So Godspeed on your rehab, Kevin, and we know you'll keep listening to the show. We also heard from Lenny Joseph,
Okay.
and Lenny just said, I laugh.
Yeah.
When people say, okay, boomer to me, I laugh. We have a response from, I guess this is a friend of yours, Joanne Gonzalez.
Yes.
And she says, I've been called so many things by some of my crackhead patients that boomer is looking good.
Yeah, she works as a nurse, I believe.
Oh, okay. And finally, Chris Rodriguez, the guy who explained okay, boomer to me, Chris said, you totally sold out.
There you go.
And, you know, I kind of get his point to a degree, because we were the generation that did come up with Earth Day. Mm-hmm. We were the generation that burned draft cards and protested the Vietnam War. And then we kind of did sell out. We kind of did sell out. Don't you think?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I just see it as evolution. It's not a sellout. It's not something where we said, you know what, we're just not going to do this anymore. It just, as you grow on, other things attract your interest, and you
things require your time and effort.
and energy.
And some of us are just friggin' tired.
Yeah.
Chris?
Give us a break.
Some of us are, you wait till you get to 67 and see how tired you are.
And see how you like it.
So that is a look at the OK Boomer movement. Come on.
Oh, yeah, this technology is great.
There we go. There we go. I'm pushing the button and nothing's happening. That sounder, can we have the sounder again, please, just to make sure it works? There it is. That means it is time for this week's Boomer Trivia Quiz.
Okay, and as we said, these are from the Trivial Pursuit Baby Boomer
Edition.
box.
Boy, pushing that button was more trouble than it was worth, let me tell you. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. So I'm debating, like, should I pick one where I think I know you're not going to have any clue, and that's no fun. So I'm going to try to pick one that I think you might possibly know, and then you might not.
Okay.
And I'll take it from the TV category again.
Okay.
That seems to be fun. Who baptized Joey Stivic?
Who the hell is Joey Stivic?
Meathead on All in the Family?
Who baptized?
Or is it Meathead? No, it's the
baby. Joseph was the baby.
Was the baby.
Meathead's baby. All right, let me see. Who baptized Joey Stivic?
Oh, time's up.
Yep. Was that Uncle Kaz?
No. Archie Bunker.
Get out of here. Really?
Yeah. I wish that they gave you details on this, because I really
Oh,
would like to
that's
know.
right, because Mike and Gloria were atheists, I think.
Right.
And Archie wanted the baby baptized, so he did it, I guess.
baby.
I thought Uncle Kaz did it. Okay.
So anyway, that's that one. And by the way, the one from last week when we were talking about the Coneheads and
Yes.
and what planet where they said they came from, I looked it up because it troubled me. And you were right in that planet
Beldar.
Baldar was the planet, but the trick to the question was, where did they say they were from?
Oh, and they said they
was
were
a
from
thing
France.
on
Okay.
Saturday Night Live skit that said they were from France with Jane Curtin.
All right, so I get partial credit.
I'll give you
I get
partial on that one.
credit. Okay, let me see what I'm going to ask you. Let's see. Something that maybe you would know. Okay, here's one. What did pregnant women take thalidomide for? What did pregnant women take thalidomide for? Your time begins now.
Gee, that had such bad repercussions.
It had terrible repercussions.
I'm going to say, and this is going to sound dumb, but I'm, for some reason, I'm thinking it was something minor, like morning sickness.
You're right.
Am I?
It was prescribed for morning sickness or nausea.
Oh, wow.
You're 2 for 2.
I'm 2
right?
for 2,
You're 2
yeah.
for 2 this week.
And you're half. You're
yeah,
one half.
One half. That was a mercy credit that I got from last week's show.
Oh, well.
Wow. Well, hey, listen, we hope that you enjoyed this week's edition of the Sonic Boomers. Remember, you can write to us at Sonic Boomers as one word at protonmail.com. We also post the show on Facebook. We post it on YouTube. And you can even send comments to us on our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
So we have a Sonic Boomers Facebook page now, too. So until next time, I'm Pete Torriello.
And I'm Maureen Torriello.
And we invite you to join us again next week for another edition of the Sonic Boomers.